It's a special 30th episode of Mustaches and Coffee.
Pour the coffee.
Top of the mustache to you, and welcome to a special 30th episode of Mustaches and Coffee. Where the topic goes, nobody knows. I am Isaac.
I am Ben, and I have a coffee mug.
There it is. And we're glad to have all you mustache and coffee lovers with us. It is fantastic to see you, Ben. How are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
Doing pretty good. This is a special episode. We decided, 30 episodes might not seem like a lot, but to us it is. When we think back, we've been doing this since January. Can you believe that?
Yeah, it's like we went from cold to burning up, back going to, in a few more months, cold again. So
Yeah.
it's been a while.
That tells you how long it's been right there. Yeah, we were complaining about the cold constantly. If you're a longtime listener, you probably remember that. We were always commenting on the weather. We're here in Ohio, of USA, and yeah, it's just that's how winters are. They're just miserable, at least for us. Some people like the winter, so hey, if that's your thing, great. But here we are. We're in August, and we are making this officially the 30th episode. So we're Mustaches and Coffee. We like to just get ourselves a cup of joe. We like to sit down and have guests on. We talk about different topics we enjoy and other people as well. So we just thought, let's just kind of reflect and kind of recap. This is kind of a shorter episode. We're just kicking back and relaxing. So just to throw it out to you, Ben, when you look back on how far we've come, is there any episodes or even just moments that kind of stick out to you?
I still think one of my favorite episodes has to be like our very first or second episode. I think it's the second episode about the cartoons from the 90s and the whole scenario with my cat having his teeth removed at the time just completely took you off guard. And I'm still, when I think back of that, for those who don't know, there's a lot of things that didn't make it to the podcast. One of those things was that episode. We laughed for like 15 minutes straight, and I think you hear it at the very end a little bit, but
Yeah,
it was an amazing episode. We were just laughing so hard.
that's what I think of too. Just, there's a lot that didn't make it into the final cut. I'm sure, for us, we might get a kick out of it, but I don't think people would appreciate just 15 minutes of laughing.
Yes.
Get a little annoying after a while, but we had a great time. That was just totally out of left field of your cat, and I'm glad that your cat's doing well. It's not that I ever want to see some animal in pain or suffering, but I mean, my humor is just if I am not expecting it and it's just different, I'm probably gonna just belly laugh at it.
Yeah.
I know a relative talked about someone was kind of choking before and they were kind of coughing just and they went, "Excuse me, I'm sorry." And you might think to yourself, okay, they're going to say, you can just kind of fill in the blanks before they're done talking of, I've got a cold or I've got a sore throat. But the person said, I would choked on a carrot earlier. It's just completely just stuff like that. That's my humor. So yeah, that's a great moment that I think back on. And that was a fun episode. That's one that I think we talked about doing a part 2 of some time. I mean, there's so many forgotten, shows from the 90s that we enjoyed. So that was a fun episode. Yeah, just thinking about overall how far our podcast has come. I mean, this is just a big shout out to our listeners. We've gotten so many great listeners. I've heard feedback from them of what they've enjoyed about the show, maybe things that we can improve on, and we appreciate all that.
Yeah,
So this is also a time I'm just kind of reflecting back on it. Just, a big thank you if you're listening to this. If
absolutely.
you've been a longtime listener, thank you, because we're just having a ball just talking about odd stuff and topics that we enjoy talking about too. I mean, we're kind of going in a direction. I don't know if we want to talk about the future at some point. We're again looking back, but there's some exciting stuff too. We got some fun guests coming on. What comes to my mind though is, yeah, we've had some really great guests. Give another shout out. I have to say N64 Josh, he's just an awesome guy.
Oh yeah.
Great guy. And I listened to his podcast, the Nintendo Powercast, and if you haven't listened to it, you're a Nintendo fan. I highly recommend it. He's just so thorough. He's right on it, up to date on news if you want to keep up with that. And yeah, I just happened to reach out to him. I just thought, hey, if anything, he could maybe give some tips because we were just starting out as a podcast by that point, and not even hesitation, just like, sure, I'll be on the podcast. So I have to give him so much credit, and the encouragement he gave, and he was just so much fun. One of those episodes I look back on, that's something I can listen to, go back and just hear him talk, because he has a lot of fun stories too, and especially if you like Nintendo, a lot of those memories. So that's one of my favorites. But yeah, what else comes to mind to you?
I think one of the one of the ones I really like was the uh, funny competitions, the
Yeah.
beard competitions or the different varieties. That one was just kind of very random. And then the Amazon products, that was a really fun one. All the random
Good. That's one of
Chad
my favorites too.
Kroeger. Yeah. But yeah, the one of the greatest ones, if I could sum up one that I'm like, all right, this is awesome, has to be Jonathan Fastborg and Latitude 64 and his
Yeah.
presence and stuff. Funny thing was, little behind the scenes, we had some technical difficulties for about half an hour, I believe it
That that
was.
that was me. That was me. Yep.
Yeah, this guy over here. And Jonathan kept saying, "It sounds like it's raining over there. It sounds like it's raining." And Jonathan was like 6-hour difference. He was from
Yeah.
Sweden. So those who haven't watched that episode, go back and watch it. So there was a big time difference and really cool guy. So again, yeah, here's his logo. So make sure you follow him on his YouTube channel, Latitude 64. But great episode.
Yeah. I agree. He was so much fun. I love his sense of humor, and another one of those, yeah, you just reached out and he's got a big YouTube following, and it was just so much fun. He's just everyone we've had on, I just want to say every single one of our guests have been
Yes.
so down to earth. They've been just, yeah, round of applause for them,
Yes.
because uh you mentioned time difference. Yeah, he had that time difference. He was still very accommodating, just patient. We had technical difficulties, just super cool guy. Just, yeah, I really enjoyed that episode. Weird Mustache, the artist, he's in
Mhm.
Brazil. Paulino, we had a great time with him too, and that was just so neat to me. Uh, someone from Brazil and just their culture, him
Mhm.
talking about that. Uh, I mean, we also just recently had Hugo, who's also from Brazil. He
Yeah.
lives in Cincinnati, in that area now too. So, uh, but he had, yeah, just meeting new people, meeting different backgrounds. I think that's been a kind of a fun aspect of our guests, is we've got a nice variety going on there. And yeah, your girl Renee, she was awesome. She's just
Mhm.
a really, really nice person. I've reached out to her just asking questions, because she's been on social media, and there's just little questions you might have, and she's really quick to respond, just so helpful. Um, and yeah, Miss Devon, she was so much fun. So
Mhm.
very fun personality, and you could tell she's a teacher. She's really good at her job, and yeah, just I could go on. I just love the guests. I mean, what did you
Mhm.
think? Any more guests? I know I'm probably missing more because we've had quite a few.
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to Andy from Contemporary. The live coffee tasting, that was amazing. We have something in the works for possible future episodes, so stay tuned. Um, And, just speaking of coffee, this came to mind. I was at a coffee shop with my father-in-law the other day, and he said that he ordered, kind of an oxymoron, decaf espresso. I'm like, "What?"
Okay.
I didn't
It's like
even think there was such a thing, but yeah, I guess you can make espresso out of decaf, which kinda makes sense, but that's kinda like jumbo shrimp or something, yeah. Decaf espresso. What? Really
it's like
random.
taking
Anyways.
night it's like drinking NyQuil and in a Red Bull. Like, why? Why are you doing this to yourself? That sounds very different. Okay. I
Yeah,
mean,
anyways, side
maybe
note.
it's maybe it's for ones that, yeah, they like espresso, but they want more than just a shot, and they want the coffee, but they don't want that much caffeine.
But
I could see that,
I
I
get
guess.
that. It's
Just yeah, it is kinda different
oxymoron.
on but yeah, and yeah, and I'm just mad we're not thinking about these guests. John from Whiskerman, another
Oh,
great
yeah.
guest, talked about a lot of grooming tips. I've never had a beard until recently, so I enjoyed that episode too because there was a lot of great tips. And check him out too. Got to meet him in person. There was a festival in the area, and he's just a great guy too. Very kind, just very uh, accommodating. Again, just very willing to, hey, yeah, let's do it. Let's get on this podcast and have some fun. And yeah, I give a shout out to Jason Kirby. He talked to us about health and fitness,
Mhm.
that type of thing. And he's been a friend for years, but he was all the way in Taiwan. So going back to, we've had all these guests that, we just got to give them another thank you. Thank you for, taking the time to be on the podcast because we had fun with every one of them and they're all different varieties and scopes and things like that. But yeah, just give them again another shout out. Thank you for coming on the podcast with us. And a good friend of ours, Seth, we got to give him a proper shout out. He's been on a
Yes.
few of our episodes and he's been a big fan of ours too. So big shout out to Seth. Be sure to check him out because the recent episode he talked about he has his own podcast as well. He has other links and that sort of thing. So be sure to check him out. Ajax, another good friend of ours, and really enjoyed him because he was a lot of fun with our Weird Al episode too. So yeah, there's just I could go on about the other ones. What else comes to your mind?
So, the Galaga Guy 88 with the
Yeah, so
arcades we just
Sheldon.
had,
Sorry,
um
Sheldon. I don't know why I forgot you too. Had so many
I
great guests.
I
That's
care
all.
about you, Sheldon. Isaac, borderline.
And I love that episode too because it was arcades. I love arcades. So yeah, just some fun episodes.
And after, all this, I'm still craving chicken nuggets.
Uh huh.
Chicken nugget episode.
That was so much fun. I
That
gotta
was.
say, that kind of inspired us, and that's where we welcome ideas. I'm willing to just try different foods that maybe you wouldn't think about, kind of putting them up to. We had some ideas. We'll hold those close to our chest. We don't want to give it away because we talked about revisiting that, but yeah, it was so much fun, and I
Oh,
was
yeah.
not expecting what I thought was good chicken nuggets to actually be. A few of them I got correctly, but yeah, who would have thought? KFC, that's the winner of chicken nuggets. Maybe people agree with the chicken, but from that episode, what we learned is don't sleep on KFC's chicken nuggets. They've got the chicken down, at least on our end. So
I do have to give a shout out to a longtime listener, Owen Cawley. He messaged us recently. He said that one of his favorite episodes was the chicken nugget episode, and then businesses we still miss. And then
yeah,
there was a third episode, and I'm blanking out that was. So forgive me, Owen, but appreciate you listening to us all these episodes.
yeah, it's just we've covered a lot of fun topics. Yeah, so thank you for that. That's great to hear, and that's what we love to hear. We love to hear feedback from listeners, and maybe it is just something that, hey, why don't you guys try this? Or why don't you do this? Any ways that we can improve too, because we're just having a fun time, but we're also looking to grow it. So we love that. Yeah, just keep it up. Just keep messaging us. We can be reached by different outlets, and we'll get to those usually at the end where you can reach us. But Yeah, thank you for writing that in. We really do appreciate that.
Yeah, another one of my favorites is we had the, 90s commercial reaction. We'll
Yes.
have to have more of those because I think those were really funny.
Yeah, we tried to do, I guess, a little behind the scenes on that is, I mean, it was reactions. We tried to keep it random. We didn't wanna if you were to plan it out, there was different commercials, I think more well known. Some of them were very I don't remember some of them, or I've maybe just forgot, but, that's what makes it fun, just the randomness of it. But if we can get someone to work in maybe the more well-known ones, there's a lot of them in the '90s I can think of that were definitely out there and weird, and it'd be fun to go back and watch them again. So, yeah, stay tuned. I'm sure we'll revisit that soon.
So, for ones who have listened for a while, there's another behind the scenes thing. Anytime we have a guest on, we have a keyword that we tell them. Isaac kind of came up with the keyword. Isaac, what's that keyword?
Anytime you make a mistake, you say banana. That's our
Yeah.
keyword. So little insight to the little behind the scenes. I don't think I've noticed it worked in on a podcast in post production, thankfully, but it would be kind of funny. I always thought to myself, randomly there'll just be a banana being said, sneak its way through. Maybe it still will one of these times, but so
Never
far it
know.
hasn't.
Never know.
It'll be totally by accident, but
Oh,
yeah, that's
banana. There you go.
yeah. So yeah, we just had such a fun time. There's so many topics that we've covered, and we got more. We've got a whole list of topics, but just another reminder again, message us if you also have ideas for topics. We're always open to what you, the listener, want to hear, and guests as well. Like we want to reach out and expand our guests. We feel like we've had some pretty big guests. Like, you're
Yeah.
talking Jonathan Fastborg. He's got a following. Your girl Renee. All of them really have a following in a unique way, but we're also not afraid to reach out. So be sure to message us like, "Hey, it'd be fun if you got this person on there." The worst thing that can happen is they say no or we won't hear from them. We'll try. We'll do our
Yeah.
best. That's what we're looking to do. So yeah, anything else come to your mind? Just again, we're just kind of kicking back and
Yeah.
reflecting on this special 30th
Just drinking
episode.
some coffee.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff. I've really enjoyed I think an episode I liked too was, funny song titles. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that one.
That came to mind. There's just some weird
Camping
song.
memories. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Amusement park memories, those were great too. Just I went to Kings Island here recently, but other than that, I haven't been in a while, so I think I had a lot of fun with that too to kinda call to mind because I used to go to amusement parks so much more than I do now, so yeah, there's just been some fun stuff. I really enjoy those episodes, and I enjoyed, the randomness, just I mean, that's what a podcast is, right? It's unscripted. I mean, you might
Oh,
have
yeah.
an idea, but yeah, there's some funny, gags going on with that, so
Like I forget what I think it was the episode not long ago we had, and my cat randomly came out of the closet door and was, like, clawing on the
Yes.
leg.
Yes, that was with Seth when we were doing the
Oh, yeah,
soundtrack
the
tours, and that
soundtrack.
was another
Yeah.
fun one. I love doing that one too. Almost forgot. Yeah, one of my favorites actually is the, mustache bracket that we had. We
Mm,
went through and did 64
yes.
mustaches. I look back like, wow, I kind of forget how involved that was, but yes, we came up with a list and we pitted them against each other, March Madness style, and yeah, it it was just a lot of fun, just the different it wasn't just a straightforward celebrities. You had
Yeah.
your celebrity, but you had sports, you had fictional characters, you had music. But yeah, Tom Selleck pulled it off. He had the number
Mhm.
1. He was the number 1 seed going into it, but he still pulled it off, and yeah, well, something we'll have to consider when March
Oh, yeah,
Madness rolls around, what we're gonna do next. I mean,
for
the
sure.
possibilities are endless. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think we should do for our next bracket?
There's a lot of the ones I've listened back to with, like, my brother-in-law. We listened to that, and he had some ideas of different characters and stuff we could insert, but I don't know, we'll just have to think about that. So anybody who's listening, if you have any ideas for our March Madness bracket for next year, a topic that you think, we might like, just message us. But I do remember I was listening to that, episode with my brother-in-law after it came out. He was getting so animated. He's like, "What? He didn't go through?" Ah! Like, just screaming. But, yeah, that's a great episode.
It is a great and there's some moments where you could tell we were about to get tense a little
Oh,
bit,
I was like,
like, like and that's how it is, we pitted it, 2 out of 3 got through, sometimes all 3, but that's how it worked, and
yeah.
it's just so much fun. Yeah, what we've done, I think that's what we're kinda looking at. We're not only looking at guests to expand, if we're talking about going forward in the future, more interactive stuff like that. We were maybe to tease a little bit, maybe we do like a game show style, and we're looking to again let the podcast kind of expand and grow. We're looking at maybe doing an episode live or do them regularly live. Who knows? We're still taking it one step at a time, but that would be a lot of fun if that's something I know I would have a blast with.
Oh,
But
yeah.
to have the listeners kind of chime in like game show style, that'd be kind of fun. You could have like a Price is Right kind of feeling. You're turning to the audience of people commenting and giving you hints or whatever. So yeah, there's all kinds of ideas we have, and we just thought, this is a great time to just kind of stop and reflect a little bit because you get so busy and you keep going charging forward, which can be a good thing. But there's nothing wrong looking back a little bit. Just kind of catch your breath because here we are again. We're in August. This is just still crazy to think about. We've been having so much fun, and
Oh, yeah.
it's just great to look back on. So
And we
yeah,
got a logo now.
yes, sir. Again, huge shout out to Hugo Ferreira. There it is.
Yeah.
Hugo. Hugo is how you say it.
Here, let's see. There you go.
There we
I'm
go.
holding them.
There we go. Just so cool. Just he was so fun, so much fun. Such a nice guy. And yeah, check him out. He's on Instagram. He's got all kinds of other art like this. And if you watch that episode, you'll get to see it live. Him actually drawing this. I mean, he just made it look
Oh, yeah.
really easy, but he's got all that experience. He talked about it in the episode, his experience and his love for drawing at an early age. But again, anyone can pick it up, and you just got to practice, as we talked about. But yeah, we just really appreciate it. We got to give him a shout out. Be
Yeah.
sure to check him out. Hugo Pereira Arts. He's on Instagram. Make sure to give him a follow. Check him out, and he does prints. Met him at the Super Cincy convention, and he was selling prints. I mean, I've got a Pokemon one that I bought. It was like $5 too. So definitely
That's
check him
cheap.
out. Yeah. Yeah.
That's cheap.
He's a great artist. So can't say that enough. And all of our guests, be
Oh,
sure to
yeah.
check them all out. Go follow them if they're on YouTube. Um, some are on like TikTok and other social medias, but definitely check them out. They're great people, and we really had a lot of fun with them. So we want to be sure to give them a shout out as well. Well, I think that about does it for now. So it was a lot of fun to just it was a little bit of a shorter episode, but we just thought this is a great time to kind of reflect on it. So before we wrap things up, let's go ahead and move into our last segment.
Last drop.
Brought to you by Sticker Mule. For high quality customizable stickers, go to our link to get a $10 credit on your first order. Take it away, Ben.
An Oscar Meyer Weiner mobile got into a pickle on Chicago's highway. The hot dog shaped Wienermobile hit a car Monday morning along Interstate 294 and its driver lost control and overcorrected, causing it to roll on its side near Chicago suburb of Oak Brook, Illinois State Part said. No injuries were reported after the crash. So that's something you don't see every day, a flipped over Wienermobile. That's what I got.
You gotta wonder that's maybe happened more often than not. I don't know because how bad are I just see that it's like that just looks like a common occurrence here in Ohio because people can't seem to drive in Ohio. It's like I don't know what would it be stuck in like. Have you ever gone through those like narrow bridge underpass?
Oh yeah.
Like, what do they do in that situation? Do you think they gotta turn around and
I don't
they're
know. I just wonder if he hit like a car that said like Heinz ketchup or something. That would have been awesome.
there's like a Wonder Bread truck that also spills over and the ketchup and everybody starts running to it.
I would relish that situation.
I was waiting for it. I was trying to set you up there. Very
Yeah,
nice.
I spiked it.
You relished that spike. You did.
Yes.
So,
Yes, indeed.
well, thank you, Ben. So if you see Oscar Meyer Weiner flipped over, maybe I don't know how you could help them, but be mindful of that. That could be in your area at any certain point because they travel all over the country. So who knows? You might spot one. Well, with that being said, let's make sure we do our due diligence. So, Ben, why don't you tell people where they can find us?
So we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, exclusive Batman videos on TikTok. So make sure you follow us on TikTok, Twitter at Stash and Joe, and YouTube. We are talking about perhaps having a giveaway when we hit 500 subscribers. Stay tuned for more details on that, and a big giveaway when we hit 1,000. So again, stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe to us. We have some upcoming announcements on how you can enter to win these prizes in the future. So again, if you have questions for me and Isaac, make sure you follow us or email us at mustachesandcoffee@yahoo.com. That's how you get a hold of us.
Great. Thank you, Ben. And yeah, can't say it better. We love giving away prizes. So keep that in mind. And big shout out to anyone that likes coffee, anyone that has a coffee shop. That might be someone we'd love to have you on because everybody's got a story. So we've had Contemporaroast on. We'd love to have you on and talk coffee. That's what we do. We talk about it over coffee. So be sure to get in touch with us. Just shoot us a message and who knows, you might be the next guest on Mustaches and Coffee. All right. Well, that about does it here. But as we always say, don't bash the stash.
I need espresso, regular espresso for the depresso.
Goodbye, everybody.